And I have two gentlemen with me in the studio, Shijibomi Adebi Bennett and Dr. Dayo Kayode. Thank you for joining us this morning on TVC Breakfast. We head straight to the newspaper, and I'll be starting with The Guardian. Outrage as Dixon signs bill for Bayelsa lawmakers' life pension. Ex-speaker to get 500,000 naira monthly. Stakeholders begin protest today. Well, on the front page of the Daily Sun, disagreement over 2023 presidency. Ohaneze, Fulani elders, others fought Miyetti Allah's position on Southeast Tinubu. On the front page of the Nation newspaper, Buhari mobilizes governors for Lawan, Gbajabiamila. Southwest APC governors reps elect meet. Battle for 9th Assembly heads shift to regions. And on the front page of the Vanguard, economy blitz as power system collapses. Generation drops to 2,039 megawatts. Homes, factories suffer outages. NGC, TCN yet to complete maintenance of a Scravos Lagos pipeline. And finally, on the front page of the blueprint, 550 million naira gratification. EFCC arraigns Bauchi governor-elect today. 60 lawyers defend him at tribunal. One story that I would like for us to look at this morning is on the front page of the Vanguard, talking about the economy bleeding as power system collapses. Generation has now dropped to 2,039 megawatts. About the issue of power outage or the struggle when it comes to power generation has been on for a long time. I'll start with you, Doctor. And it seems like this struggle will be on for a long time.
It's going to be on forever. As much as there is insincerity on the part of those people that...
When you say insincerity, how do you mean?
Yeah, the issue is this. When they were trying to unbundle NEPA activities and then selling to discos, gencos and all that, who are the people that bought all these things? It's a big question. Are they professionals? Do they have the technical know-how? Do they even have the administrative capacity to be able to handle it? They sold those things to themselves.
But the issue of the sale was because it was felt that government cannot handle it.
I said the issue now is this government cannot handle it. But let us look at the structure, the people that bought all those companies. Who are they? Is it not those people in government? Yes, they are. Now bringing in all those other people that can now assist them. So the issue is, at any point in time, they wouldn't know what to do. They wouldn't know what decision to take. They don't even have a vision. Because something you don't have the technical know-how of, how can you develop a vision or mission for it? So no matter what, in as much as we don't leave these things in the hands of professionals, those that can handle it appropriately will still be having some problems, and they will be deceiving us from, till time immemorial. Yesterday, I was reading some news on the airline. Some people were saying, look, it's because the amount they are charging is low. That is why we are having all this. But it's all
about the money
lies.
being charged?
It's all lies. You can remember that even when they came in the other time, they were asking for, I think, 100 billion or 300 billion or so. And CBN gave it to them. Where are we till today?
Let's get Shijibomi's view on this matter now. We are still struggling. Right now, we are at a little over 2,000 megawatts. Perhaps you've had issues with electricity in your area as well.
I was going to ask if you didn't have any issue. Because for like 48 hours, we just experienced a bit of normalcy. That was yesterday.
Really?
Yes. So, but the issue, like my brother said, is because of the foundation of the whole thing. But taking it a notch further, it's not just about the gencos and the discos, which were almost privatized alone. But what about the one the government is handling, the transmission company of Nigeria? The government also has to, release a lot of shares and a lot of ownership of that, because the government, it's obvious the government also cannot handle.
If the government
they
even
will release it to themselves.
If the government even release it, those that will handle it, can they handle it?
It depends.
This issue has been on for a long time.
We've had issues with gencos and discos, and to be very, very sincere, the Gencos generation companies
Yes.
have not been found wanting a lot of times because they have capacity to
Generate
12,000 megawatts as
and
of today.
transmission has always been the problem.
But even out of the 12,000, they've been doing 8,000, which is like 60% capacity. So you can't really fault them. But the basic problems we've experienced in the last 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month has been the transmission because it has the stops have been shutting down. So and where the distribution companies come into play is with the consumers.
So now the question of alternatives. Why are we not looking at alternatives? Well, because other countries are looking into that.
The issue is this. The key word there is insincerity. And it boils down to this. All these government people that have bought into Genco and Disco and all that, they are also the ones importing generators. They are the ones selling diesel. Mark you, sometimes go and watch those filling stations. When there's going to be an important match, like yesterday, Chelsea, Man U, and whatever,
so are you saying that was deliberate?
Oh my goodness, you got to go and find out. We are the grassroots people. We discuss with them. We are the people that always go down to the people to ask, why is this problems? Do you understand? And when you find out, you say, yes. They settle themselves. And that's the issue. There is no how they even unbundle the one that my brother is talking about, government. They will still unbundle it to themselves. And mark you, they are all out there to make you and I, to the extent that we will not be able to have that energy to confront them. And these are the little ways they take money
the economy is
out from
suffering.
Do they give a hoot about you and I? Who is holding the money? Do they spend naira like you spend naira? They talk in dollars. Now they've started lobbying leadership of
the National
Assembly. Go and ask them how much they are using to lobby. The currency they are using to lobby. Go to Ikoyi and everywhere where they live. They pay for accommodation there in dollars, in pounds. They don't spend naira like you and I. It's you and I that are reading that the economy is bad. They don't look at it that way. Do you understand? Their children are not here, so they don't give a hoot. Where they live, there is always light. Because they have diesel, they have petrol, and all that to power their own. They see some NEPA offices, they don't even have light. They run on generator.
And if we know that we have all of these problems, Shijibomi, aren't we also complicit as a people because we keep, voting these people in?
Nigeria is a system. The corruption is systematic. But I like to focus on the way forward.
Yeah.
Now, the licenses have to be reviewed this year. For the first time, we want to see what the government will do. Are they going to review?
Does the government have the political will to review?
Yes, they have.
You think so?
We have seen that work before. Unless this government want to toe the path of the previous government. So if they can start with it. And Fashola is already telling them that they should even release some of the shares they have to technical partners, to the Gs and all those people that have the wherewithal to do it. So if they can release some of those shares, they're not saying that they shouldn't hold those companies again, but let them release to technical partners, foreign partners that know how to manage these things. So it limits their own ownership as well, but it's a win-win for everybody. So the government and the people are not harassing you anymore. Then people that have the know-how come in. Then on the transmission, don't let us undermine and overlook that aspect. The government also has to do something because it is when it comes to the consumers that we blame the discos in terms of metering, in terms of the amount of even energy they get from the Gencos. They pay from the Gencos because they don't want to get so much so that they don't pay much and they just spread and bring estimated bills. But transmission is the key, is the intermediate of the Gencos and the discos. So the government has a lot of blames. We can't just put all the blames on the Gencos and on the discos.
But you see, the issue is this.
We need to go.
Okay.
Quickly.
The issue is this. We have people in this country that can do all these things. Imagine a secondary school.
Finding them is the challenge.
They are there, but they wouldn't allow them.
Have they come out to show that?
I know so many of them that are out there and they have shown their capacity and they never allow them.
All right.
But then this disco and all that, they will now be calling them to come and be their contractors.
All right, we have to leave it at this point, gentlemen. Thank you for your contribution on the newspaper review this morning. You're watching TVC Breakfast.
And I have with me public affairs analyst, Shijibomi Adebiyi Bennett, and a political technocrat, Dr. Kayode Dayo. Thank you very much for joining us.
Pleasure being here.
So let's review the newspapers this morning. First of all, the Daily Trust says here how DPO soldiers were wounded in Kajuru crisis. The rider says police debunk reports of fresh violence. The Guardian is saying outrage as Dixon signs bill for Bayelsa lawmakers' life pension. The rider says ex-speaker to get 500,000 naira monthly. Stakeholders begin protest today. A Daily Sun says disagreement over 2023 presidency. Ohaneze, Fulani elders, others fault Mietiala's position on Southeast Tinubu. The Nation says APC disputes Atiku's claim on being Nigerian by birth. Buhari mobilizes governors for Lawan Gbajabiamila. And the rider says Southwest APC governors reps elect meet. Battle for 9th Assembly heads shifts to region. The Vanguard says economy bleeds as power system collapses. Generation drops to 2,039 megawatts. Homes, factories suffer outages. NGC TCN yet to complete maintenance of Escravos Lagos pipeline. So the blueprint says 550 million naira gratification. EFCC arraigns Bauchi governor-elect today, and 60 lawyers defend him at tribunal. So we'll stick with security situations in newspapers, and the Daily Trust is saying how DPO soldiers were wounded in Kajuru crisis. Police debunk reports of fresh violence. Now, there has been a dusk to dawn curfew in Kajuru and the neighboring areas, according to our correspondent on the ground. So, is this the solution?
The Kajuru crisis is a behemoth that the military and the paramilitary, all the security agencies have to contend with. And I believe that we should be very, very careful about it so that it doesn't snowball into something bigger than us. It started recently with the Adara community and retaliating when the governor said it was, the people said it was 11 people that was killed on Sunday before the election.
Yeah.
And the governor now said it was 67. Later, the figures went to like 130 something. I think it was not properly managed because we had people like Professor Odinka Kalu saying as at that time that the governor was not saying the truth, that it wasn't a fresh. So I believe as at that time it was it was an issue of, this thing is not being addressed, or people are being killed and nobody is talking.
How do you manage this kind of situation? You said, like you said, Dr. Odinkalu said, governor, he accused the governor of not properly managing these situations. How do you manage such crisis?
You see, this situation is just one of so many that we are having in this country. And if you want to look at it conceptually, I wouldn't want to take Kajuru, whatever, in isolation. I've always been saying it that, look, the incessant insecurity situation we're having in this country are based on two major factors. One, insincerity on the part of government. Then two, the psychobalance of those people that are being involved in all these extrajudicial killings. To what extent are we looking at that? There are 1,001 Nigerians are being infected with what I call mental illness. When we're talking about mental illness these days, it's not about all those people you see on the street and all that. These are being caused by myriad of problems that we have in this country. You see, people are now thinking of how to pay school fees, and of which they have not been paid their salaries in the last 18 months. People are talking about no light, and when there is no light for you to pump your water. When you don't pump, you understand,
so
all these factors
are contributing.
Then even when you also look at all these security people, what kind of accommodation are they being provided? So all these things are affecting their psyche. Do you understand? Then again, there are a lot of people that are gaining from the incessant insecurity that we are having in this country. A lot of people are making money from there. There are people that are making money out of problems.
We're making money out of the loss of lives that we record there every point.
My brother, you need to go deep into all these things. It's beyond what we are saying in the dailies. So not until when there is sincerity of purpose, the political will to sort all these problems, we keep on seeing it in different facets.
But we see governments investing in ensuring that our security personnel are well equipped. And if you're mentioning political will, then it's something to worry about.
Let me give you an instance. Look at our Niger concert.
Okay.
Our Niger concert. You see how much money goes there every year. So how can you now come and tell me that you don't know how some insurgents are moving within some localities?
When they can be monitored.
When our Niger concert can monitor them and then pass the information to the Air Force for them to look at it and then know what to do on ground. So tell me, that is height of insincerity.
Well, let's have your comment on that.
I think the Nigerian factor is also one of the causes of all these things. And going for that, because one way to also look at this program, one way to why this program is also very important is to provide solutions. In every part of the world, the government is about the minority. You have to shield and protect the minority. That is why even in the US, irrespective of other countries' opinions, the LGBT rights are there, the gay rights are there. But what's the government of all these communities doing, especially the peculiar situation we're looking at, the Kajuru community? The Hadura are like the minority there. The Fulanis tend to have the upper hand. The governor is Fulani. So in every sane community, what you're supposed to do is feel the pulse of the people that are termed the underdog. Try to identify with them. Okay. So that your people, because you can talk to your people, there is nothing you will do to your people that your people will look at it as you are like maltreating them. Okay, so that we can have, you know, an establishment of trust.
Okay, now that we're talking about the crisis, now we cannot put Kajuru in isolation. We have the Gombe crisis, we have the Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast, and all whatnot. Now,
the Gombe crisis is different.
But the thing is this.
It all boils down to insecurity. Look at the way those guys were killed. Look at the way those guys were killed on Easter Monday. Do you understand? We have witnesses to this. It's extrajudicial killing. See, that guy that was driving must be driving out of psychological imbalance.
But is government doing enough to ensure we don't have all of this again? It's been long running.
That is what we are talking about. Insincerity. It is height of insincerity that we are facing in this country. Do you understand?
I don't think the government is doing enough.
They're not.
I don't think
They're not even
so
ready
what can be done?
It is, for instance, now look at the analysis we are giving. We are, through what we are saying, we are trying to also provide solution. We should be able to go further by telling government, look, enough is enough of all these things. But it's a pity that immediately after talking, it's just like people doing research. Go to NISA, go to so many other research institutions. You see a lot of all those things there, and then gathering dust. But let us go beyond. Let us go beyond all this analysis and meet these people face to face. Let us move it to the National Assembly. Let us go to states, House of Assembly. Let us go to their offices and discuss with them. Oh, Mr. Governor, look at what we have seen from this. You got to do this. And then let us give time lag. Not that we now be waiting for another 4 years until when they come to campaign. No, we want you to do this in 3 months.
Okay, time's
on a final note, I think the traditional communities have to be involved in this. You can see what is happening in Zamfara. So it's not just about the federal government or the state governments alone. The leadership of the people, the religious leadership, the traditional leadership, bring them in. Let us talk to each other. The Plato template can be used, you know, whereby competitions were arranged for people to play between each other. So all those things can come into play.
A quick one. Is there light at the end of the tunnel? We're out of time already.
Yeah,
There will always be light.
there will always be light at
There
the end of the tunnel. If only we can move at the right direction.
We can't afford to be pessimistic.
No, but we have to.
All
we
right,
have to
we're
move at
out
the right
of time
direction.
already. Thank you very much for talking to us.